Alright, welcome back everyone. So we have completed 10 matches with the Mega Lucario EX deck, and I did do those with the deck as is. I didn't change out any cards. The only thing I did was switch out for other art versions of the same cards. But what I did do after finishing the 10 is we went and we got the ETB, so that's why my deck cosmetics look really nice. Like the sleeves and the deck box on this are really good. And I'm gonna try another 10, but I'm doing this using a different deck list and addressing some of the things that I noticed and ran into. Is that you kind of have your Mega Lucario, of course, is kind of like your main attacker, but he's also your main setup. With the Aura Jab, you want to set up the Hariyama, and problem was if you didn't get your Hariyama set up, then you were kind of stuck without a really good secondary attacker. Like Solrock is good in the early game, but you got to have Lunatone on your bench, and it's not going to ever be affected by weakness or resistance. So you're not going to hit anything for weakness. So you can do 70 and then do your premium power pros to get up higher, but that becomes costly, and then your premium power pros are gone. So I have switched to a build seen in one of the Japan City Leagues. And one thing I want to point out here that I got also from the ETB, we did pull the Mega Lucario, I think Mega Hyper Rare, Mega Ultra Rare, I don't know, I can't keep up, but super cool. And I especially appreciate I got the Mega Lucario Rare from the Mega Lucario ETB. So we'll cross our fingers we also get the Gardevoir when I get the Gardevoir ETB when that comes up. But another thing that this deck has is the Baby Lucario. So this would be a single prizer, and the Avenging Knuckle I can see being especially useful because it's just one fighting energy. If any of your fighting Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 120 more damage. So potentially 150 for a single energy, only gives up a single prize. So really good option there. And the other thing that was glaringly obvious with this deck, of course, is the psychic weakness. So one thing that we did change in here is we've got the Professor Turo's scenario. So we're going to be using those because this will allow you to scoop one in your hand. So if they don't one-shot you, you can put it back in your hand. And being just a stage 1, if you've got other Riolu on the bench, you can then put your Mega Lucario on someone else, or just put your Riolu back down and then Mega Lucario next turn and attack with one of your secondary guys. But this deck also runs the Artisan to get your basics in play, non-EX, and then it's also got the Town Store to find your tools. So a lot more stadiums here overall, and that's especially critical when you're facing against the Forest of Vitality, because that card is super broken. And also this goes max Professor's Research, which you run multiple copies of everything in your deck, and considering you have to accelerate your fighting from your discard pile, this card makes sense in here. Another thing that we've got is the Reversal Energy. So if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, and this card is attached to Evolution Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, this card provides every type of energy, but provides only 3 energy at a time. So that's another way you can power up your Hariyama if you lose your Mega Lucario, or you didn't get a chance to Aura Jab, you didn't have the energies, whatever have you. So the goal with this deck, and the way it feels Mega Lucario needs to play, is to just kind of knock out everything early. You definitely want to hit the opposing pre-evolved Pokemon before they get a chance to power up, because your Mega Brave is going to miss on hitting most of the bulky guys unless they have fighting weakness, or unless you have the Premium Power Pro plus the Maximum Belt. So there's ways to do it. This card is good on paper. It's just a matter of getting the matchups. So luckily, I've had a pretty even spread of decks that I've faced so far with it. So I've faced Mega Lucario twice, Ceruledge twice, 2 different versions of Alakazam, and then it's just kind of been a smattering of other things. So I have faced some things in the meta, some things that are, obviously people are experimenting with this being brand new, but we'll see how this deck does for me now that we've made some tweaks. So we're going to do another 10 with this, which should get us up to the level 50 in the battle pass. We're at 40 right now, so we're not far off, but at 50, of course, is when we'll get the Mega Gardevoir deck, and then we can start trying out that one. So let's do it.